Hey there, it's Heather Boyd Wire, and I'm going to do a little live stream test on YouTube here. I just tried one on YouLive, and that was interesting. But the trouble with that one is you can't really do DIY very well because you can't flip the camera to show your hands. So I'm actually going to just say hello here, and then I'm going to flip the camera over and I'm going to show you some holiday cards that I'm making and possibly show you guys how to make them, because I just posted a video on how to make holiday cards and ornaments and jewelry to sell at fundraisers and craft shows. And actually that one was a special project because my good friend Bibi is a daycare educator, and they're actually having a fundraiser to do some renovations at the daycare. And she knows I have a lot of projects for holiday crafts and stuff. So she asked me if I could give her some samples and ideas for things to share at the daycare, or to sell at the daycare. So I had a bunch of samples that I put together, and I thought, well, why don't I just make a video? Because I had made a video on how to make rings to sell, and that video was actually really popular. I think it's being shared a lot on YouTube because about a week ago it had 14,000 views, and now it's up to 30,000, which is kind of crazy. So I'm not quite sure how the chat works on this live stream. This is just a test. I actually am going to set up software to be able to live stream on my computer. But unfortunately, my computer is not quite updated enough to be able to support. It's called Open Broadcast software, which apparently, if you hook that up to YouTube, you can broadcast off your device, like your laptop type of thing. But I can't do that right now. So this one's a test. So I'm gonna just touch the chat box and see if there's anything. Chat viewing options, show live chat messages. Yeah. So I think that's on. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys. I'll just pull them over. I just showed some of these on my YouLive, so I'm going to show you some of these cards. So this is like a card with a Christmas tree. So that's one of the cards. And here's one with the wire just wound around the beads like that. So that one's really cute. And this one I really love. It's just upcycling old Christmas cards. And I actually cut this off the card, and then posted it on my own cardstock. This cardstock I buy at Michael's craft stores. I think they're in most cities in Canada and the States now. It's a great place. And if you go online, you can actually get often 40 or 50% off coupons for Michael's. And this, so I didn't want it just to be the card, so I cut part of the card off and actually did a beaded little candy cane that you can see on there. So I attached that on there. And then the classic snowman ornament. And this, I do have links on my most recent video to other videos how to make those. And the angel, which is super cute. And then some earrings. This one's really cute. Maybe I'll show you guys how to make these ones. The little snowman, like that. Now, I have had feedback from a lady, and I meant to actually message her to tell her I was doing a live stream that hopefully she's going to hop on, and maybe I'll try to find her on my computer. Anyways, this is just a test, so I'm just going to test it out, and then I'll do another live stream another time. So what I'm going to do now is flip my camera, so just be patient for a sec while I flip it, and then I'm going to do an overhead shot. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Let's move that over a bit. I think that's good. Okay, so I just put this up on a little grid thing to have like an overhead shot. So you should be able to hear me okay. And what I'm going to do is I will show you how to make those little snowmen because they're so super cute. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please let me know. And I'll flip the camera back again after if anybody wants to chat for a bit. So for the snowman, and this video I have also on YouTube, so you can just search for the snowman earrings under Heather Boyd Wire and you'll find the video, but I thought I'll just do one live for now. So here's the head pin. So a head pin is basically like a pretty sturdy piece of metal. It's not sharp on the end, and there's a little, I'll try to bring it closer, there's a little, oh, if I put it on the black maybe, so there's a little, I don't know if this is going to focus, like a little knob, like a straight pin, but they call it a head pin in jewelry making lingo. And then this little bubbly bead I use for the base of the snowman, and it's called a raspberry bead because it looks a bit like a raspberry. And on a lot of my DIY videos, I actually have a list of supplies underneath. For sure on this one, I did put the list of supplies where you could buy that bead. So I have links to Amazon shops where you can buy those things. So for the snowman, you're going to need the raspberry bead. It's about 12 millimeters. And then you're going to need a, I think this is 8 millimeter round bead for the body. And then a 6 millimeter round bead for the head. And of course, an earring hook. And what else do we need? We need one of these little, they're called little crow beads. So basically they're not round, they're sort of a little bit flat. Like it's sort of like a large seed bead actually. And I think the size was about 6 millimeters, 6 by 4 millimeters, that was it. And then these arms, which I've made, but I'm going to show you how to make those. And for the brim of the hat, you can either use like a little flat bead, or you can actually cut it out of fun foam. So I'll show you how to do that too. So let's remove all these. They're a little distracting. Hopefully it's bright enough. I don't know if I'll bring my light. I'm going to bring my light over a little bit more, just to make it a little brighter. I don't know if that's any better. Anyways, that should be okay. So, and then to make the arms, I'll show you how to do that first. You're going to use some wire that's about, I would say at least 20 gauge, 20 or 18 gauge, probably 20 is all right. And this one is an aluminum wire, but you can use a copper. Often I use the artistic copper wire, which is really good. And so for this, what we're going to do, see how close I can bring it and actually focus it. If I touch the screen, no, that's not going to work. So we'll just go around here. So what you want to do is with your round pliers, you're going to bend it around like that. So that'll be one hand. And you have that hand sort of sticking up and then kind of perpendicular, like where the middle would be. So let's compare it with this one to have it more or less the same. So where the middle would be, we're going to do another little loop, but like I said, kind of perpendicular. Okay, so we're going to do the little loop around, and if you want them the same size, we'll just measure them up beside each other. Okay, so this is the part that you're going to string between the beads. So we're going to go like that. Okay, so we have, there's the middle. And if we have one hand pointing up, let's do the other hand pointing down. So we'll do it sort of down the other way. And let's just compare them to be more or less the same size. Okay, so that one's sticking up. And then this one, this hand we're going to put sticking down like that. And then we'll give it a little clip. Okay, just give it a little bit of a clip. And then so you don't have any sharp edges, you just want to give it a little pinch. I'm just going to move the camera a wee bit because it looks like it's a little shadowy. I think that's the best I can do. I'm going to have to work on the lighting, so that's all good. So there we go. So there we have the arms for the snowman. And if you missed it, you can check out my video, how to make snowman earrings on my channel, and then you'll see how to make the little arms. So now it's just a matter of putting things together, but let me also show you how to make the brim. So if you don't have a little flat bead for the brim, I put it to the side because you might not be able to find one. I use this Fun Foam, and Fun Foam you can buy at the dollar store or at Walmart or at Michael's or online on Amazon. So we'll start by cutting a little square, and you want a circle brim. Although I have had people in my workshops make little square brims for the hats, which is cute. I used to do a lot of craft workshops at schools and libraries and birthday parties, and it was always so interesting to see what the kids would come up with. Usually they came up with totally, different things than what the original project was, but always super interesting. So I've just cut a circle, and to make it so it will actually go through the head pin, you want to just take the head pin or a regular pin and just poke it through the middle, and that it becomes like a little homemade bead almost. So there we go. And now the assembly. Let's remove some of this extraneous stuff because it's just distracting. And head pin first. If you don't have a head pin, you can always make one out of wire. And what I can show you how to do that actually, you would just take a piece of wire that's probably about 20 gauge would be good. So the idea of the head pin is you need a little knob at the end so the beads won't fall off. So if you don't have a head pin, just take a wire and make a little loop there like that. And then that becomes kind of like a head pin. So you just use that loop to stop the beads from going off. But because we have one, we'll use the head pin. And now it's just a matter of beading. So if you're doing a workshop or something with a bunch of kids, or if you want to, kind of prep things in advance, you can prep the arms and prep the hats, and then it'll go a lot smoothly. Because sometimes when I do workshops with tons of people, I'm like madly trying to make all these arms because they're tricky to do. So if you make them in advance, it's good. And so we'll start by putting on the raspberry bead. It's about 12. Actually, I think it's 15 millimeters, the raspberry bead. And then we put the 8 millimeter bead. And then we need the arms. I've even had people add like a little colorful bead for a scarf, which you definitely can do. And then we're going to put the head bead, which is 6 millimeters, like that. And then we're going to put the little brim. So if you don't have a brim bead, you just cut one out of Fun Foam. And then we're going to put this, it's called a crow bead, which is basically an oversized seed bead. And there you go. He's looking super cute already. And we will just give it a little clip. So I usually clip it to about 3/8 of an inch, like that. And then get our round pliers. So there's the round pliers, and we just kind of push it back and around. And you just want it to sit in the hat, and just nice and tight and flush in there. So there's your little snowman. And then we're going to add the hook. So I just buy these earring hooks already made. No need to make them yourself, although you can. If you did, you'd want to make them out of sterling because you don't want to stick a random wire in your ear. And there you go. We can just adjust the arms a bit. So there we have our super, super cute little snowman earring. Let me put it on the black so you can see a little better. And so there's your snowman earring. He's super cute. And if you want to make a decoration with the snowman, you can actually buy these beads a little bit larger. It's probably more like 20 millimeters or something. So you can get the little larger size and then use the medium size for the body and a bigger pearl for the head. And then you can have it as an ornament too. So there you go. So now I'm going to flip the camera back the other side. Bear with me. And I'll just figure out how to do this. Flip the camera. There we go. So I'll just flip it like that. If you're wondering what that grid is, it's actually just some of those modular grids that you can buy at the hardware store or at Walmart. And I use those. I actually propped my camera on top to film what I was doing with my hands. And so I find it really useful for doing the do-it-yourself videos. So I use, when I film them on my iPod, I use that. And when I film on the Canon camera, I just use a tripod, of course. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions about jewelry making or crafts or selling at craft shows, selling on Etsy, any of those things, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if you're listening to a replay of this, you could definitely comment below and ask me any questions about entrepreneurship, jewelry making, what have you. And let me know what kind of live streams you would like me to do in the future, because I definitely would like to do more of these live streams. And I'm definitely going to do another one about ring making. And I'll be sure to prep like a nice dark background so that we can really see the wire well. That's the intention. So for now, I'm just kind of experimenting with this whole thing, and hopefully the next time I'll have my laptop up and running so that I could do a live stream on that. And so that's it for now, and I'll put up a video in the next couple of days about how to make the wire cards, the greeting cards. And in the meantime, you can have a look at the video I posted today about the ornaments and the earrings. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you the next time.